Hey everybody, it's Jordan with Modular Head Shop. Today I'm going to talk about some basic cylinder head repairs that come through the shop quite often. Here I have an 03 Cobra head that has some pretty bad chamber damage. It looks a lot better now that we've removed the head of the valves from the chamber, but it looked pretty bad when we got this head in. I took some pictures before, I'll be sure to post them. Anyways, this was not cylinder head related. We have worked on these heads before. These do have my upgraded exhaust seats in them, which every 0304 style Cobra head should. I'll go over that in a different video though. So this was due to primary chain skipping timing. Basically exhaust valves were hanging wide open when the piston came back up. Broke the head off 4 exhaust valves, got them stuck in the chamber. Boogered up the spark plug pretty good here, but the threads are still there, and I can simply build this back up with some good welding. We'll cut my chamber softening program on the CNC, put a time cert in here. Harley has a little end mill that he uses to clearance this and make a flat bottom, and then he'll cut some new seat pockets, put the new seats in. Valve guides were removed because they were fractured. And bronze does not fracture as easy as this factory powdered metal guides, but even these did fracture. So just keep in mind, if you ever have a bent valve with a factory guide, more than likely that factory guide is cracked. Anyways, here's the steps for the repair. The head is fairly clean. I'm going to use some matte gas here just to heat around the seats if there's any oil behind it that might pop out at me while I'm welding the seats out. And then yes, I'm going to weld the seats out. I'm simply heating the seat in a certain spot, overheating it, it will shrink, and then I'll be able to just pull it out, you know, pretty effortlessly. Then I'm going to prep the aluminum by grinding away all the carbon. We'll do that in the porting room, and then we'll come back, weld it with aluminum, take it to the CNC shop, cut the chambers. Alright. Crazy. I'm just trying to get this up to maybe like 150 degrees or so. Some guys may be worried about the head warping from welding on the chambers and stuff. You're not going to get the head hot enough to cause any issues there. As long as you're careful. Never will you see a head smoking on my bench. I'm very careful as far as how much heat we put into it. My whole deal is if you're welding over here, you should be able to touch your elbow to the side of the head. If you can't do that, if it burns your elbow, the head's too hot. These are a little bit harder to get out than the stock ones. Got my little. Alright, here we go. I'll try to stop midway so I can show you exactly what I'm trying to do, but I try to heat the very top of the seat and actually make it kind of peel off, starting from the top and kind of sinking down to the bottom. This one is cooperating very well, although I don't think you could see the puddle on camera. The seats are a tungsten alloy, and so unless you're reckless with it, or if you don't know what you're doing, to me it's fairly easy. You can see where we've just melted the tungsten back onto itself. It's completely separated from the aluminum. Now these are my good aluminum gloves, so I'm not going to reach my finger in there. But you could probably do it as long as you have gloves on. And then boom. Look at that. Now, just for instance, I would never do this. I would never do this. But you could easily, that seat pocket is perfect still. If you had to, you could put the exact size seat back in there. We're not going to do that though. We're going to clean this up. I'm going to weld this up real good. So when Harley cuts the seat pockets later this afternoon, they're nice and solid. So I have 7 more to do. Won't take me very long. Same thing on the intake. Just put some heat into it until it shrinks. And just for reference, this is not a ton of heat. 1/16 tungsten on my torch, and it's set to 110 amps, somewhere around there. And I probably got 80% pedal at the highest point. Same deal, this one actually broke in the middle just a little bit, so it'll come out nice and easy. And about I need an ear ring. And I do this on a daily basis just to show y'all. I probably cleaned this about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. Whole lot of exhaust and intake seats right there. Alright, got the rest of the seats out pretty effortlessly. You can tell there's a little chunk that was hanging on with the seat here, so I'm going to grind that out real good. Grind this out. Pretty much make it a good surface for me to start welding on. And then we'll do some welding. Alright, so we're here in the porting room. This is where we dress all the heads after a valve job, just blend the seats to the bowl, that kind of stuff. I'm going to use a ball end mill, high helix. Now ready for some welding. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is just warm the area up. That will boil off any oils that are still left there where I'm going to be welding so they don't spit up at me. Nothing crazy. And throughout the welding process, you'll see me grab my little ball peen hammer and use the back side of that. I'm literally just forging the weld as I'm welding because it's not going to be the cleanest. Cylinder heads are dirty. Nothing you can do about that. There is hydrocarbon stuck in the aluminum. Using 5356 aluminum alloy rod, number 7 cup, baby gas lens, 3/32, lanthanated, I believe. Whatever the purple rod is. Works good for whatever I'm doing. 200 amps, balance is set at 69, and now the intercooler has to come on. Try to do this in small steps so y'all can see. First little dent gone. Get the channel up here. Now what I did here on the edge is just weld up the seat pocket. So the seat pocket had a good little dent in it, so we'll go ahead and welded it up. And I'm going to weld it up on this side as well. So once we put the new guide in, size that guide, cut a brand new seat pocket. Got a little bit more to do over here. It's coming along nice, and it's not too dirty. So. elbow test. We're not even close to being warm. But I am gonna let it settle for just a couple minutes. I've been welding on here for about a minute. But there we go. I'm gonna finish filling in the seat pockets all the way around, pretty much. Okay. All right. So I'm to a pretty decent stopping point now. I've worked on the second chamber, fixed all the problems around the spark plug, which is probably the hardest because it's very thin here. And I've welded up both exhaust seat pockets. Now I just need to weld this up, finish welding the intake pockets, and just finish that one intake pocket right here. I didn't want to let the head get too warm. And we'll be ready to throw her in the CNC. Alright, so we're down here in the CNC shop. I have the cylinder head loaded. I had to do just a little bit of clearancing on one of the welds for the fixture plate, but no big deal. I'll finish that later on. I typically will use a 3/16 ball mill for the chamber programs. However, there's a lot more buildup here, and so I'm going to use a 1/4" ball mill to do a roughing pass, and then we'll switch to the 3/16. So what I've done is pulled my chamber program out of the actual full cylinder head program, and I've raised the surface on one of them. So you can see here I have the pink one, that's going to be our roughing, and then the blue one will be our final. And all that's left is to pull the tool paths out, put them in auto cycle, and then we'll film the first one and see how it looks. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to load my first tool, my 1/4" ball mill. I'm going to do a little dance first, I guess. Y'all ready for this? You can get up on it now. Right now it's just going back up and down because that's how the tool path is going to be close to the spark plug hole. So the roughing program is getting close to being finished. From what we can see here, it looks really good. So, about 30 seconds or so it'll be done, and we'll show you guys the results. Well, looking a lot better than she was. I'm going to cut the seat pockets out on the seat and guide once we put the stuff in there. And you can see it's just barely touching the chamber, so the tool length is really perfect. I'm going to rough this one, and then we'll run a final over all of them and see how it turns out. Alright, we're done with the roughing for the second damaged chamber. Now we're going to switch tools. 3/16 ball mill coming up, and the tool path will be dropped 10,000 down. And we're turning the coolant back on, so we'll see you 4 chambers from now. Alright everybody, we're over here in the cylinder head shop now with my buddy Frankie. He's going to throw some guides in the head, and then we'll be able to put the seats in and get on with the valve job. So all he's doing is cleaning up the bore, making sure there's no burrs in the valve guide bore from when we removed the guides previously. And go ahead.
Ready?
Yep.
Pour the guides in. Tool.
Now we're going to size them with our diamond hone. I'm here with the valve seat master. So we got the head loaded in the machine. Now we have to listen to the effing air compressor for the next 2 minutes. Alright, let's have a look. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Alright, he's got a few more to do. We will come back and see how it looks once he's got them done. Alright. So one chamber's had the valve seats machined already. This other one has had just the intakes done. And then we're going to adjust the spark plug hole, put a time cert in it, and get it on the surfacer and ready for assembly. Alright, Harley's got the valve job cut, looking awesome. Got his little end mill here for cleaning up the spark plug holes. How good these things look. So we have a little bit of quench pad damage that I still need to weld. I'm going to get that welded up real quick, and then we'll get this thing on the surfacer. Alright, so Frankie just put a time cert in here. It looks excellent. This is the only plug that was damaged. It's brand new. You can see where I did a little bit of quench pad repair here. Other than that, that's the only thing that's going to show you that any repair was made to this chamber. It looks just like the other two in the middle and the one that was also damaged on this end. The only difference is it has the small threaded insert. But this right here, folks, is a prime example of teamwork at Modular Head Shop. I will put me and my crew up against any other cylinder head shop. You will not find this attention to detail from anywhere else. So, if you have any doubts on where to send your 4-valve heads, look no further. We can pretty much fix anything, and you can be sure it's done right. So, have a happy and safe new year, everybody. Thanks for your business all year, and we will see you in 2021.